morning or
Morning.
afternoon or whatever it is in your place of being. My name is Tom McNally. I'll give you a little background on how I came to the DTO. I was introduced by my friend Jeff, and I was really happy to be there. But one of the things that drew me to it more than anything else were the precepts, because in the 1980s I joined the Green Party and did the demonstrations, and it was a lot like today. And when I looked at the precepts, they mirrored the 10 core values of the Green Party. So I said, I'm almost home. But the topic I picked out today to share, and sharing myself, is impermanence. The reason I picked out this topic is I just found out I'm 82. I always thought I was 81, but I never did the math. And now I looked at my medical chart and I found out I'm 82. And in my time of life, I know that loss is coming to me. But I've also experienced many losses throughout my lifetime. My sibling, my parents, of course. I had lost 2 children and a grandchild. So dealing with loss and grief is what made me think getting over the grief was basically with the compassion and loving kindness of others. But I looked into grief a little bit more, and grief even is a natural emotion. We're not going to get rid of it. And we suffer because we attach ourselves so much. But I think, and I read that there's a difference between attaching and clinging. When you attach yourself, and you lose yourself, you lose the person you were attached to. Grief follows, but also if you can dwell on the impermanence of all life. Life is change. The only permanent thing is change. If things didn't change, we would be lost in a world of Groundhog Day, the movie. Same thing over and over and over again. We have to move, The thing that I think about now is when I'm close to a person, I want to do deep listening. I want to be there with them. I want to show compassion, loving kindness, especially if somebody isn't having trouble. And that goes with deep listening. And it goes with just reassuring them that you're there, that you're listening. Change helps me get through things. One of the changes, really one thing that helps me out a lot is when I really screw up, I think of impermanence. This is going to go away. I won't be hanging around forever. But I think I wrote some notes down here. I know that my time is numbered. My ticket's going to be punched. And it's not going to be too far along because I'm at the age that you expect it. I hope that I can go out as gracefully. And in the Buddha tradition of calmness and knowing that it's the time that nothing lasts forever. Grief, when I would lose someone in the past, I would always want want to go back to when they were alive. But they're not. I had to go on. But I'm my only companion in my home now is my dog, but we get along famously, and And if he wants something, or if he just wants attention, I give it to him, because I know he's not going to live forever. And I know that I want to spend precious moments with him. And when we go for a walk, I go for a walk and I just look around me and I enjoy my rose bush because it's blossoming. I enjoy the birds that I hear singing. I enjoy the view. I enjoy the noise. That gives my life a lot of meaning. And I think it's also in the Buddhist tradition. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Any comments, remarks for Thomas?
Yeah, this is Ted. Thanks, Tom. Good to see you. And of course, a very relevant topic for everybody. I'm wondering, have you explored or considered what we hear all the time mentioned in numerous sutras, the Buddhist concepts of no birth, no death? Have you contemplated those ideas? I'm just curious about what your thoughts are.
Yes, I have contemplated that, and I've also contemplated my own death, because I know I'm not going to last forever, and I know that everything is, but it also, it's not there. It's not, there is, I don't know how to explain it, but I have contemplated the birth, the death, and it's just fabric. You're part of the fabric of life. You're not an individual. You're not intervening. You're part of everything. So that's as far as I went on that.
Ruth from Virginia Beach, from Donghang Sangha. I want to make kind of a bridge between what Craig was talking about and what you're talking about. And when he was reading about the difference in abiding and being. And I think abiding in that sense of the word, as I think I understood it and have understood it, implies some level of a clinging or attachment, because you are in a place and you are abiding there. Whereas when you are being, there's more fluidity, and there is birth and death, and there is not birth and death at the same time, because you can just be in it. It's kind of a bridge for me between the conventional and the absolute levels of reality, and the being allows that, because it just is what it is, and it does not have to have definition, and we can be in that place, or that non-place, or that fluidity. There is peace. As soon as I start trying to abide in a place, then it gets stuck. It gets stagnant. Like was said, if there is no change, then nothing. Like you said, when there is no change, nothing can grow. So thank you both, and bringing Craig's, abiding and being into what you're saying. So Ruth out.
Thank you.
I'd like to bow in.
Yes, Janet.
There is a prayer that is recited in the evening in Zen monasteries. I'm sure that many of you are familiar with it. It's called the Evening Gatha. And this is a prayer that is transformative. If you recite it and reflect on it and practice it. There is a line in the Evening Gatha that's sometimes omitted, even in the Zen monasteries, because I'm sure that some people find it a little difficult to deal with. But the Evening Gatha, oh, I'm sorry, I knew this, that's why I was unmuted. I said, well, that's why I was hesitant to become unmuted, because I have a companion here. Be quiet, Mary. Good, that's going to do. But it's very short. And it goes like this. Let me respectfully remind you, life and death are of supreme importance. Time passes swiftly and opportunity is lost. This is the line that's sometimes omitted. I will say it. This day, our lives are decreased by one day. Each of us should strive to awaken. Awaken. Take heed. Do not squander your life. For me, that prayer is so centering that when it is reality itself. And when I pray it, I feel a tremendous sense of, one, being in my body, and knowing that there's no artifice when I pray that prayer. It somehow is very comforting to me, even with that line. So bowing out.
Thank you. Bowing in again. That's something I do also. I don't do the prayer, but I look in the mirror at night before I go to bed and I say, you've lived one more day. And in the morning, I wake up and I look in the mirror and I say, you have another day. But I also think in my mind, this is one day you're not going to have again. This is just today. You don't know. I don't know how many more mornings I'm going to wake up and look in the mirror and see that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom.